What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Jose Show. Happy Wednesday. All right, now let's get to the hot topics. Now, let's talk about something very sad. So, unfortunately, the one and only Raven Simone lost her father just yesterday. Well, Raven Simone just shared in an Instagram post that her father passed away, who was called Christopher Pearman, by the way. And she got to say this in the post. My life has been long and abundant, Raven began her October 1st post, which featured a throwback photo of her as a young child in her dad's arms. And the path I'm on started with a dream. Hope he is watching with a smile on his face. So Raven, the oldest of Christopher and Lydia Galden, two children, finished her caption with a dove emoji and a hashtag of her father's name. And though the That's a Raven star didn't share any additional details about Christopher's passing, when a user commented asking if Raven's caption indicated her father had died, she responded, "Yes, ma'am." While Raven didn't often speak about her dad in 2015, shortly after she joined The View as a co-host, Christopher shared his support for his daughter in her new professional endeavor. And he got to say this. Raven is a really beautiful, sweet-hearted human being, he wrote on Facebook at the time. I should know her mother and I love her very much and will always support her and have her back. Okay, so this is really sad to hear that Raven Simone lost her father, because I can't imagine how awful it feels having to lose a parent. I really do send my heart and I really do send my condolences to Raven Simone. And I'm pretty sure that right now, Raven Simone, the first thing that she wants and the first thing that she needs is some alone time. Because when it comes to losing somebody, you cannot be with other people because you just feel like you want to just sit down and reflect and think about how your parent was and how much your parent meant to you. Like, I completely understand that Raven Simone didn't post much about her parents on her social media. However, I do think that Raven Simone still cared so much about them, especially about her father. And I believe that the reason to why Raven Simone didn't post a lot about her father specifically is because Raven Simone is that type of person that has always wanted to keep her life private, which is perfectly fine because I believe that what's private is meant to be kept private after all. It cannot be out in the light after all. And I personally think that Raven, by the way, is really tough enough to be going through a situation like this, because I believe that it really takes a lot of guts to go out on social media and talk about what she went through. And I believe that it also takes a lot of guts to really, just stand strong and admit that unfortunately her father passed away. And this is not the first family member that Raven Simone Raven Simone's that has passed away. This is like the second family member, because I believe that a few years ago her brother Blaze passed away. And her brother Blaze, by the way, was only like in his late 30s, I believe, when he passed away, or I believe early 30s when he passed away. And that right there is also a very tough loss right there, because that right there is, of course, losing a sibling, and a sibling, of course, is also really close to you in life. And I can already imagine that Raven and Blaze were also really close. But anyways, I believe that, this shall pass. And yes, of course, it's still gonna hurt, because at the end of the day, Raven Simone lost a family member, but it'll pass, and she'll, be like, okay, he's resting in peace, and now he is watching me from up in heaven, and, life goes on, and the end, But at the end of the day, Raven Simone will still be her, and she'll forever remember her father, and she'll forever remember her brother Blaze as well. And, I believe that the one only support that will be by her side as of now is Miranda Madej, because Miranda Madej is her wife that loves her very much and cares about her very much. So I believe that that's like the only person that should be there with her right now. But I believe that right now Raven wants to be alone. And yeah, may Christopher B. Pearman rest in peace, and he'll forever be remembered, and he'll forever be in our hearts. Now on to the next topic. Now, let's talk about Kylie Jenner. So, it's safe to say that Kylie Jenner had a magical time at Paris Fashion Week as she hit the runway for the Copernicus show, which just so happened to take place at Disneyland. So, anyways, the reality TV star strutted her stuff in a stunning black princess gown, which was paired with matching elbow length gloves. The Lip Kit Mogul's runway appearance was made even more special thanks to the magical backdrop, Disneyland Paris's castle, a pink and blue take on Sleeping Beauty's Abad. So Kylie made it clear she had the best time walking in Copperni's fashion show. The mother of two posted footage of her romantic dark look from the runway to Instagram and thanked designers Sebastian Meyer and Arnaud Vaillant for making the whole experience a fairy tale. So she added, felt like a real life princess. So while sister Kendall Jenner is more of a regular staple during Fashion Week, this wasn't Kylie's first ever runway walk. Okay, so anyways, this is really cool that Kylie Jenner got to be in Disneyland modeling because this just comes to show that she really, really loves to model and that she is the kind of person that loves to model after all. And she does have the body, she does have the beauty to be modeling after all because she is a really beautiful woman after all. And she has the right to feel like a freaking princess anyways because I mean she looks really pretty, especially with the dress that she was wearing, which happened to be like a dark blue beautiful dress by the way, which made her look like a complete princess or like Cinderella, you know. And what really amazes me, by the way, is that Kylie Jenner was all the way in Disneyland doing this because never would I imagine that a Jenner would be modeling in Disneyland or anywhere that has to do with child-related events. Because I personally believe that Kylie Jenner and the rest of the Jenners and Kardashians would usually model somewhere that is more grown up, you know, like somewhere in Paris that is more grown up, or somewhere in America that is more grown up, or God knows where else, you know, but definitely not in a child event or in a child location like Disneyland. So this is just so freaking funny in my personal opinion, but hey, if Kylie Jenner wants to shine, then let her shine. And you know, I believe that this is one of the only things that I've heard from the Jenners and Kardashians that is actually really, really cool because you know, the rest of the things that I've heard from these Jenners and from the Kardashians is a bunch of drama and a bunch of you know what else, which is just so freaking annoying. You know, and I believe that with this fashion situation that happened with Kylie Jenner and a modeling in Disneyland, I believe that she's going to get even more attention for this because, you know, when it comes to fashion and when it comes to modeling, it really calls a lot of people's attentions because a lot of people love to see the modeling. They love to see, you know, the rocket to you lock it situation where you're just rocking that dress and you're just, you know, looking pretty and this and that. So, I mean, hey. But, anyways, I hope that there is more opportunities coming Kylie Jenner's way now that she got to be doing this. And on to the next topic. Now let's talk about a viral moment. So, a mom in California is being applauded for her resilience after her water broke on her front porch, forcing her to give birth right then and there. Natasha Downing's doorbell camera documented the whole incredible scene and has rightfully taken the internet by storm. Okay, so Natasha, who was 39 weeks along at the time, is seen heading out of her home when her water breaks right in front of her door. So the labor escalates quickly with Natasha squatting down and pushing out a baby girl named Lily Bella right on the stoop. Thankfully, Natasha wasn't alone during the unexpected birth. Her husband Tom can be seen supporting her during the entire scenario. So in the aftermath of the doorstep delivery, Natasha says she knew she wasn't making it to the birthing center after her water broke. So Natasha says she was prepared to give birth that day. She had visited her midwife earlier for a membrane sweep, a procedure to help naturally induce labor. So the labor started only a few hours later though. Natasha and Tom admitted they waited a bit before heading to the birthing center as the mom's labor pains weren't too severe at first. So of course nature had other plans and sped everything up for Natasha, who says she realized the baby was coming as she made her way down the stairs. Okay, so she added, she was perfectly healthy. It was everything I had ever dreamed of. This was everything I had wanted for both of my births. It sounds like it would be a traumatic birth, but it was very healing and really traumatized, really amazing. And though she admitted she did scream for nitrous oxide during the outdoor birth, and we don't blame her. All right, so this is really intense and really cool what I'm hearing here. I can't believe that this woman was that tough enough to be giving birth out in her freaking porch. Like, it really takes a bunch of guts to do that, because for you to be giving birth out in a freaking porch without the help of a doctor in a hospital, especially, is just so troubling, because you're basically on your own, and you're basically trying to figure out on your own how to get that baby out of you, and then how to be able to take care of the baby after that. And then you're also trying to figure out how on earth you're able to have the baby be born well. Because I mean, when you're giving birth, it's not just giving birth. You need to actually make sure that the baby is born well enough. Because in a lot of situations, unfortunately, when you are giving birth, unfortunately, the baby can end up getting stuck, or the baby can end up, I don't know, not wanting to get out or stuff like that. And then you're like, oh my God, what do I do next? This is just so freaking troubling. This is just so freaking traumatizing. But guess what? Now the baby is born, and I believe that the baby is now healthy and fine. And the woman was like, you know what? If I can do it, then a bunch of other people can do it too. A bunch of other ladies can do it too. And it giving birth out in the freaking porch. But guess what? I wouldn't recommend it though. I would recommend for y'all to go to a freaking hospital and get help from a doctor ASAP when it comes to a situation like that, because y'all don't want to get through a situation where y'all are in a troubling situation when it comes to giving birth. I'm just saying, okay? But anyways, I applaud Natasha Downing, and that is all I have to say. Now on to the next topic. So let's talk about last night's debate. Okay, so the first and only vice presidential debate of the 2024 presidential election cycle has come and gone, and there was nary a raised voice to be heard. In fact, it was downright friendly at times between Senator J.D. Vance and Governor Tim Walz. So despite disagreeing vehemently on many issues on the campaign trail, the running mates of former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris, respectively, even went so far as to agree several times. So that's not to say there weren't some more serious moments, with Walz called out for lying about being in Hong Kong during the 1989 Tiananmen Square protests and massacre, calling himself a knucklehead and admitting he misspoke. He was there about 2 months after the incident, per an NPR fact check. So, for his part, Vance was questioned for his seemingly changing stances on abortion rights, among other things, with many pundits believing that he lied on the debate stage when he said he wouldn't seek a nationwide abortion ban, countering even more recent comments he's made and congressional efforts. So, Vance also snapped at CBS News moderators Nora O'Donnell and Margaret Brennan after the latter fact-checked his misleading statements about Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio. Alright, so let's remember that this was the viral moment from the presidential debate where Trump talked about immigrants eating cats and dogs. Alright, so anyways, Vance didn't bring up anyone eating anything on this issue, but did argue that Springfield, Ohio is overwhelmed in its schooling and housing infrastructures due to millions of illegal immigrants competing with Americans for scarce homes. Okay, so anyways, this is really interesting what I'm hearing here. In order for J.D. Vance and Tim Walz to agree in some things and to be kind of friendly in last night's debate, I believe that J.D. Vance is kind of accepting the fact that he really isn't fit to be the running mate for Donald Trump, because, I believe that it really takes a complete lunatic like Donald Trump and a complete idiot like Donald Trump to really be running with him. Because let's admit it, J.D. Vance was being friendly kind of in last night's debate. I mean, he wasn't being all that friendly either because it was a debate, but yet again, he wasn't like all that lunatic like Trump was against Harris in last month's debate. And then, Tim Walz was just doing his thing, doing a really good job with his own debate. And, he was, speaking on how much he's going to represent the country once he gets elected with Kamala Harris. And the end, I believe that this debate was just, one of those light debates, but it wasn't a bad debate after all, in my opinion. But anyways, that is it for today's show, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's lovely episode of The Jose Show. Till next time, and peace.